Hey, um, haven't done one of these outside uh, around my property videos for a couple of weeks and wanted to do something that felt a little bit more personal. So here I am. Uh, Weather is way too warm to be rocking the hat. So sorry, Cheryl. I can't use your branding for me today because I just don't want to sweat like that. Um, I want to talk about. Uh, it's actually kind of touching. I want to talk about something that's been going on here for the last few weeks, and explain why it's just not possible. I've had a lot of people, either in personal face-to-face conversations, over the phone, text messages, um, private messages through Facebook, stuff on the Twitter sphere and other places, Telegram. They're like, "Hey, dude, seriously, you need to run for office," um, and and it's kind of the natural outflow of what I've been doing for the last, well, especially here vocally with the YouTube channel and the Rumble channel, and pretty soon my Odyssey, and I'm probably going to get a bit shoot started. Rumble's actually started to. I'm making money on Rumble. Uh, I've earned 8 cents so far. So, um, but I've had a lot of people reaching out and going like, "Dude, you need to run for office. We need a straight shooter like you. We need somebody who's gonna to tell the truth. That's gonna stand up for their oath." And it's touching. It really is. Back in 2000, I ran for city council in the town that I live in. Won by a landslide. The next person that after me was well over 500 votes, and in my little town, if I remember correctly, I mean it's been 21 years, um, but yeah, if it was well over 500 votes that I for the next closest person. But I'm also going to tell you it was a disaster. I was the same person when it comes to the Constitution and stuff. Still pretty vocal, but I was also a train wreck of a person. It was prior to finding my true relationship with God in a positive sense. Um, I I filed for bankruptcy that year. In 2001, I filed for bankruptcy. Um, Resigned in disgrace from the city council because I was embarrassed and it was the right thing to do. And since then I've gone on. I moved on with my life. I've made a lot of progress. As many of you know, I've come to a positive, favorable relationship with the Lord in that time. Um, but I can't. I'll never be able to run for office. Too much baggage. I made a wreck of my life financially when I was a lot younger, and I'm still digging myself out of that hole. Um, it's embarrassing. I hate it that that's what it is. I'm never going to be wealthy in the sense that a lot of people would consider wealth, and I'm okay with that. Somebody that I've come to respect in the last few weeks since we met posted that just because you, just because you have money doesn't mean you're wise, doesn't mean you're smart, doesn't mean you're a good person, and something to that effect. But it's true. Part of the problem is, um, in our materialistic society, and I don't have a problem with capitalism, but I have a problem with like materialistic living. Um, you're really considered morally upright or a morally good person if you really are nailing it and making a ton of money, because that means you're doing something right. And a lot of times it does. But um, I'm still paying for a lot of stupid, sinful decisions that I made when I was younger. And quite frankly, I made a moral wreck of my life too. And I still do and say stupid things, um, and I put myself in different times in my life, I put myself in positions that will just be used against me. They'll be used against me. And I'm just not going to drag the people I love through that. And for some people, that's great. A lot of people, they're like, hey, you know what? I've got skeletons in my closet. I'm going to talk about them and I'm going to move on. But I can't. I can't do that. I'll get behind anybody that wants to run, as long as they're legit, ethical. And by ethical, I mean like legitimately ethical, not ethical because some rhino says, oh, this person has the right ethics, because quite frankly, I'm done with the rhinos. But I'm not interested in dragging myself or anybody else through the mud to make a run for a seat that they're going to try to unseat me from. Because somewhere in my past I did something that was compromising. And it's not an issue of being afraid, because I know what I've done. I know about the stupid things I've done with my life. I know that there are people out there going, yeah, well, I remember when he did this, and I remember when he did that, or I remember when he said this to this person, and all of us have that in our lives. I mean, if you're a person out there that doesn't have something like that in your life, then you're like, maybe you've been living under a rock, and you know, good for you. But I have a different voice, and I want to keep platforming people that are being abused by the system. And trust me, I understand what it means to be abused by the system. I really understand what it means when the powers in the system come against you. I've seen it happen to a lot of people lately. And as I tell people all the time, I got skin in the game. I know what it's like when people use their positions to try and silence you, because I've watched it happen with so many people. But I'm going to continue to try and platform people that aren't being platformed. I'm going to continue to fight for people that no one seems to want to fight for anymore, especially now that everybody thinks that, oh, we're back to normal, which, by the way, is going to be changing very soon, because the propaganda is out there, and our governor here in the People's State of Minnesota is really signaling that he's ready to make hard decisions if need be. And now we've even got Republicans talking about mandating vaccines. If you're not going to be compliant, we're going to make you do it. I want people that can run, that aren't gonna hurt people's chances of winning. And that's not me. And so while I'm humbled that people think I should run for office again, and that people say they would support me, it's just a stupid idea. It's stupid. And I don't know that it'd be the best place for me anyway. I mean, it's touching that anybody would even ask, anybody would even think it. That people think that I have the wisdom or the intelligence or the ability to do it is humbling. But then again, John Thompson got elected, so what? I don't even know if that means anything. But we need people to run. We need people to run their BPOUs. We need people to set the Republican Party in Minnesota straight. We need to get it back to its conservative roots, its constitutional roots. We need to get rid of the rhinos like Jen Carnahan and Paul Gazelka and others. We need people to run for office. We need people who are willing to take on a primary challenge for incumbents in their districts, who are incumbents who are lazy, and maybe they're not doing anything bad, but they're not doing anything positive. So we need to challenge them. We need to either need to get them awakened or out of office. But that's not me, and I'm ashamed of that. I know for a fact that I'd get drugged through the mud, and it would just do nobody any good. And quite frankly, I got enough crap going on in my life. So, if you're one of those people who's like, hey man, TC, you need to do this, you need to run, you need to make a go of it. I appreciate that. You have no idea what that means to me. But I just hurt everybody in that position running. It would screw things up. And I won't do that. So, but we need the rest of you. Even if you've never thought about it before, we need the rest of you. City councils, school boards, county commissions, soil and water conservation districts, House, Senate. You don't have to be eloquent. You don't have to be verbose. But we need you. We need you a lot more than we need any more of me. And I mean that. And if I can help, I will. And thank you for those of you that have said it or hinted at it or even kind of joked about it a little bit, not on the side of your eye, but kind of been serious. It means a lot to me, but it's not in the cards for TC. It's just not. And I'm embarrassed that I even have to say that. So I appreciate everybody that's tried. So, as always, until next time, Sic Semper, Tyrannus.